Conflict at work is uncomfortable. It can feel awkward, it can feel tense, and sometimes it can feel personal, even when it isn't. A small misunderstanding becomes a cold shoulder. A rushed comment becomes an argument. A difference of opinion turns into a power struggle. And suddenly, you're not just managing tasks anymore. Now, you're managing emotions. Here's the good news. You don't have to be the loudest person in the room to handle conflict well. You don't need a fancy title, and you don't need to win every conversation. In fact, the most respected people in any workplace tend to follow a different rule. They stay emotionally steady while everyone else gets emotionally reactive. That's the real secret. Not authority, not charisma, not dominance. Emotional intelligence. Welcome to Everyday Leader, where we build practical leadership for everyday people, powered by emotional intelligence and real-life situations. And today, we're diving into one of the most powerful skills you can develop, how to handle conflict at work using EQ, so you stay calm, communicate clearly, and leave the conversation with more respect than you walked in with. All right, let's get into it. 1. The real problem isn't conflict, it's emotional escalation. Most people think conflict happens because two people disagree, but disagreement isn't the real danger. The real danger is what happens inside the body during disagreement. Your heart rate rises, your breathing becomes shallow, your thoughts speed up, your tone changes without you even noticing. And the moment you feel threatened, even socially threatened, your brain shifts into defense mode. That's when people interrupt, get sarcastic, shut down, become passive-aggressive, try to prove a point, stop listening, and start preparing their comeback. And so if you want to handle conflict well, you have to understand something important. You're not just managing the conversation, you're managing the nervous system. The person who can stay calm becomes the person with the most influence, because calm is contagious. 2. The number one EQ rule: don't react to the emotion, respond to the meaning. Here's a moment that happens in workplaces every day. Someone speaks to you with a sharp tone. Maybe they say, "Well, I guess I'll just do it myself." The average reaction is emotional. You feel accused, you feel disrespected, so you respond with your own edge. And now it's not a conversation, it's a duel. But emotionally intelligent people do something different. They ask themselves one question: what is this really about? Because most conflict isn't about the words, it's about the meaning behind the words. A sharp tone often means, "I feel ignored. I'm overwhelmed. I don't feel respected. I think I'm going to be blamed. I'm anxious about the deadline." When you respond to the meaning instead of the emotion, everything changes. Instead of saying, "Don't talk to me like that," you say, "Hey, it sounds like this is really stressing you out. What's the main concern right now?" That one shift lowers the temperature. 3. Use the 3-second pause, the skill that separates leaders from reactors. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. You don't have to respond immediately. The fastest reaction is usually the weakest one. That's why one of the most powerful conflict tools is incredibly simple. A 3-second pause. And before you speak, pause, breathe in. Then speak slowly. That tiny space does two things. It prevents you from saying the wrong thing. It signals confidence and control. It tells the room, "I'm not unstable. I'm not threatened. I'm here to solve this." And people respect that more than they admit. 4. Name the tension without blaming. Conflict gets worse when people pretend it isn't happening. You can feel it in the air. Short responses, closed body language, a professional smile that isn't real. The emotionally intelligent move is to name it gently, not aggressively, not accusing, just clearly. Try phrases like, "I feel like something's off between us. Can we talk for a minute?" I want to make sure we're on the same page. I'm sensing some tension. I'd rather address it than let it grow. This works because it turns the conflict into a shared problem, not a personal battle. 5. Ask better questions. EQ doesn't win with arguments. It wins with clarity. Most workplace conflict is fueled by assumptions. People assume intent, they assume disrespect, they assume laziness, they assume sabotage. But assumptions are gasoline, questions are water. Here are high EQ questions that instantly raise the quality of any conflict conversation. Clarifying questions. Can you tell me what part concerns you most? What outcome are you hoping for? What would you like to see changed? Perspective questions. What's your biggest pressure right now? What matters most to you in this situation? Solution questions. What would a fair solution look like? How can we fix this quickly and prevent it next time? Questions slow people down. They shift the brain from emotion to problem solving. That's leadership. 6. Control your tone. Like it's a leadership skill, because it is. You can say the right sentence with the wrong tone, right? And still create conflict. Tone is emotional data. A calm tone says, I'm safe, you're safe, let's solve this. And a sharp tone says, I'm here to win. An emotionally intelligent leader speaks like this: calm, measured, respectful, direct, not rushed, not defensive. This doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're disciplined. And discipline is credibility. 7. Use this one sentence to stop power struggles. There's a line that stops most workplace power struggles instantly. Here it is. I'm not trying to be right. I'm trying to get it right. That sentence is conflict medicine because it signals something rare. You're not fighting for ego. You're fighting for outcome. And when you remove ego, collaboration becomes possible again. 8. Separate facts from stories. Here's something your brain does automatically. It takes facts and builds a story. Example, fact, your coworker didn't reply to your message. Story, they're ignoring me because they don't respect me. But there could be 10 other explanations. They could be in a meeting. They could be overwhelmed. They could have missed it. They could be dealing with something personal. High EQ means you learn to separate what happened from what you assumed it meant. A powerful phrase is, here's what I noticed. Here's what I'm concerned it might mean. Can you help me understand what's going on? This approach prevents you from accusing people of intentions you can't prove, and it keeps the conversation fair. 9. Handle criticism without losing your identity. Criticism at work can sting, especially if you take pride in doing things well. But emotional intelligence gives you a powerful advantage. It teaches you to receive feedback without collapsing or attacking. Try this simple framework. Step 1, stabilize. Don't rush, breathe, stay grounded. Step 2, clarify. Can you give me an example so I understand? Step 3, confirm. So what you're saying is, step 4, improve. Got it, I'll adjust that going forward. This is what confidence looks like, not perfection. 10, set boundaries without becoming cold. A lot of people think boundaries have to sound harsh. They don't. You can be calm and firm at the same time. Here are high EQ boundary phrases. I'm happy to talk about this, but I want us to keep it respectful. I'm open to feedback. I'm not open to being spoken to aggressively. Let's take 5 minutes and come back calmer. You're not escalating. You're creating structure, and structure reduces chaos. 11. Know when to pause the conversation. Sometimes the best leadership move is to stop talking, not forever, just for now. If emotions are too high, logic won't land. So you say, let's pause and come back to this later today. I want to continue, but I want us both in a better headspace. And that's maturity. That's leadership. 12. The goal isn't agreement, it's respect. Here's the truth. You won't always agree with everyone, and you won't always get your way, and you won't always be understood immediately. But emotionally intelligent people focus on a higher goal, respect, because respect keeps teams working even when opinions differ. Respect keeps doors open. Respect keeps conversations possible. And once respect is protected, solutions become easier. 13. A simple conflict. Reset routine. Use this anytime. Let's put everything into a quick routine you can use. Next time you feel conflict building, do this. Pause for 3 seconds. Lower your voice slightly. Name the tension calmly. Ask a clarifying question. Focus on the shared outcome. Offer a solution, not a speech. That's leadership without a title. That's influence. That's EQ. Final message. Conflict is inevitable, but drama is optional. And the difference between conflict and drama is emotional intelligence. If you learn to stay calm, ask better questions, and protect respect, you won't just handle conflict better. You'll become the person others trust under pressure, the person others want in the room when things get hard, the person others naturally follow, even without a title. In the next lesson, we'll explore how to earn respect without being intimidating. You'll learn how to lead with confidence, set boundaries, and gain influence without ever raising your voice. Watch it here and keep growing as an everyday leader.